A tinderbox of competition and resentment underneath a facade of a picture-perfect couple ignited when a husband's professional dreams come crashing down and the wife's professional dream goes soaring high. I'm talking about 2025's The Roses, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. Let's get into it.
For you, dear, I'd do anything.
I do believe that's true.
It really is.
Theo Rose, my favorite architect. How's married life?
The kids are amazing.
We're going to the beach!
Right, don't drown. Ivy, it's a monster success.
Would you do a photo shoot for New York Magazine?
Nude?
I don't think so.
Well, I'll do it anyway.
But you are still a failure.
You got fired.
Fired? I sense trouble.
How was your day?
The neighbour's dog shat in the laundry. The kids have got knit together. My left eye's twitching.
More champagne for me, please?
If you need a shoulder or an inner thigh to lean on.
What?
I'm kidding.
Everybody seems to think
We hate each other? I suppose sometimes I do hate you. Ah, sporadic hatred.
it's infused with tarragon. It adds a bit of bitterness.
Ivy likes to leave a little bit of herself in everything she does.
I love this fun banter you guys do.
Sometimes Ivy's mad at me and I can't even tell.
Sometimes he's got his cock in me and I can't even tell.
We are done.
I say when we're done.
I just want the house. I built it.
Oh, you're not having the house.
We want everything. And he walks out of here with his face still attached. Right, Bruno?
Wow.
You're a bottomless pit of need. You're just making me madder.
I get this wart.
Jesus, no.
Things are getting a little out of hand.
Oh, you think?
I don't think you have the capacity to fix your problems.
Are you actually allowed to say that?
That seems unprofessional.
Yes, like malpractice.
We'll be expecting a hefty discount.
All right, welcome back to Is It Worth It? Crazy Ant Media's movie and television review show. I am your host, as always, J. Logan Austin, for this particular segment. Man, oh man, I'm super excited to talk about The Roses today because it's one that had always piqued my interest, especially when I first started seeing trailers, but I never got around to seeing it. But then it finally came out on Hulu, and here we are. I finally got to see it. I got to sit down with my wife, and it's definitely one that I feel like you should watch with your significant other. That's for sure. But as always, y'all know how I like to break down my reviews. We're going to be breaking down the highlights, the midlights, and the lowlights of The Roses 2025. Of course, like I said earlier, it's starring Benedict Cumberbatch and the one and only Olivia Colman, both freaking phenomenal actors in their own right. Together, they make the perfect pie, that's for sure. As always, though, we got to start off with the highlights of this film. In my opinion, it's the cast. Of course, like I just said, Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch, they play off of each other very freaking well, especially with both of their dry humor. And honestly, before a couple of years ago, I really didn't know much about Olivia Colman until she popped up in The Crown, and then she like blew up and was freaking everywhere. And I was kind of like hesitant. I was trying to like stay back from all the hype, but I mean, how could you not love that woman? She is such a phenomenal actor, and what she is able to bring to the table for any project is honestly astonishing. So that is one reason alone to check out this film. And then, of course, Benedict Cumberbatch, my man, Doctor Strange himself. And I mean, he's been in so many other things. One of my favorites is honestly his speech that he gives in 1917. He's really not in it that much, but that speech that he gives at the very end is so freaking good. But yes, I think Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch, and there's also little tiny cameos from like Allison Janney and Andy Samberg from SNL and so many other things now. But I do think that the majority of the time you're only really seeing the dynamic between them two in a relationship and them two as parents to see how they co-parent. And I mean, it kind of gave you the gist in the synopsis where the architect dad, who is played by Benedict, kind of fails at his job. He has a big, big mistake to where he gets fired. And then the parental roles kind of switch because beforehand, Olivia Colman's character was a stay at home mom, even though she was a very talented chef. But now, before Benedict got fired, he gave her the opportunity to start her own restaurant. They bought a restaurant, and at first it was not doing very good. But literally, the same night that his career came crashing down, her career skyrocketed into the night sky. So that's the big dynamic switch of the entire film. That is the anchor of this story. And I do think it's a good one because I think it's very relatable. A lot of relationships either succeed or fail due to jealousy, envy, or support. And I think this is a prime example of what that's like in a relationship. Because, I mean, really, if you get down to the nitty gritty, you're always going to want to support your significant other, no matter what. But then, I mean, there are some times where you do get a tad bit jealous if they are further succeeding in their career field, or if you feel like they have more friends than you, make more money, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it's an ebb and flow situation with a relationship. It's constant work, so you have to continue to support each other and continue moving forward throughout life that you are building together. That is the most important thing. Don't try to harbor any of that jealousy, but actually talk about it and get through and break through the other side to where they can understand where you're coming from. This is not a mental health everything okay podcast. We just kind of dive into touchy situations that are involved in relationships. So that is definitely the highlight, is the storyline and the cast, in my opinion. That what they were able to do with this story and how they play off of each other is very fun. And for, I would say, at least 35 to 45% of the movie, they are in a decently good place. I mean, they bicker every now and then, but there's nothing completely crazy. But you could also call that resentment and shoving it down. So it's kind of what that's implying throughout the entire film. Now, for the midlight, I would have to say the dialogue. Yes, it is very dry, British, posh humor, in my opinion. It's a film that I definitely feel like will cater more to the overseas UK British audience because they probably will grasp and understand the dynamic better, with the snarky humor, a lot of sarcasm. Yes, we have a lot of that here, but I do feel like with the two Brits kind of being transplanted in America for this specific storyline, the friends that are around the couple are kind of in the same situation that we are as Americans, or at least how I felt in this film while watching was like, oh, are they joking? Are they serious? They're really taking big jabs at each other, but I can't tell if they're trying to help each other succeed or help each other fail. So it's one of those situations. So particularly my midlight of the entire film was the dialogue. It was definitely geared more towards a UK British audience, in my opinion, but it's still a very enjoyable watch. You just have to really pay attention because if you're not, things will go right by your head, or at least they did mine. But maybe I'm just a dumb American. Sorry. Now on to the lowlights. Not only was my accent a lowlight, but we're going to talk about the lowlight of the film, which is kind of a spoiler alert, and it's kind of like sad because it's the most important part of the entire movie, in my opinion, which is the ending. The ending. Oh my goodness. That last sequence, I think, was not good. It was a little excessive, and it was just in poor taste, in my opinion. But I guess this is a remake, first of all, and then it's also an adaptation of a book. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it just wasn't in my particular taste buds when it comes to filmmaking and movie watching. So I don't know. That's why you're going to have to let me know. What did you think about the roses, specifically the ending scene? Because I was not a fan. I thought it was a little too excessive. Like I said, spoiler alert, when they're like literally trying to kill each other, and the whole time they just want the house. They're trying to go through a divorce and they want the house. Either the wife gets it, the husband gets it, or then none of them get it because maybe they die, which is a crazy turn of events. Yeah, guys, very much so. But yeah, I just thought it was very, very, very overkill. And I guess that was in the book and in the original film, but I was just not a fan, was not particularly fond of that particular sequence. It was just like, what the hell is going on, in my opinion? But I do feel like there was a lot of relatability in this film, especially if you are in a relationship, an ongoing long term marriage, that you're just like, yes, there's days that I just want to, but there's days that you just want to hug and cuddle and be in each other's arms and comfort each other because it is ebbs and flows, y'all. It is one of those situations where there's someday you're not going to really be all lovey dovey and you're just going to be more roommates. But there are some days where you're just like, no, let's go on a date. Let's hold hands. Let's do all of these different things. So that's all normal. It's all freaking normal. And I think it's an exaggeration of what the dynamic in a marriage is like, in my opinion. That's what this film is. So I give it a solid 3 out of 5. The dialogue thing and the ending sequence thing, it was a lot. I mean, if it wasn't as catastrophic, in my opinion, as far as the ending sequence, it probably would have gotten a 4 out of 5 because, I mean, it's such a timely topic that will forever and always be in a topic of conversation, which is the relationship balance between home and work and parenting and all of those particular things that we go throughout life. But and then the dialogue, like I said, there's a lot of things that if you're not really paying attention 100%, then they're going over your head. But I mean, even when you are paying attention 100%, it's just like, okay, I'm not really understanding the lingo and the duality of everything. But overall, like I said, 3 out of 5. Is The Rose is worth it? Yes, it is. Be sure to check it out on Hulu. Please be sure to do so because it's a fun topic of conversation. That's for sure. Especially watch it with your significant other. I definitely feel like you'll have a lot of fun. That's for sure. But anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching this segment of Is It Worth It? Be sure to follow me on social media at @JLoganAustin, and you can follow the entertainment-based podcast, pop culture informative podcast, as I like to call it, ItCaf Podcast, better known as Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. That comes out every single week. We're super excited to be back. Check it out, man. Check it freaking out. And of course, visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com. And as always, y'all, have a great rest of your day, and we'll be seeing each other soon.